It's the way you let it be.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Spiritual Gangster Podcast, a vibe-driven podcast for the soulful and strong. I'm your host, Amanda Pieraldi, and I am so grateful that you're here with me today. I'm coming to you from Ontario, Canada, and can't wait to start this journey together. This podcast is a place where we talk about the power of affirmations, building a positive mindset, and how to find strength and growth even in life's hardest moments. My hope is that through these conversations, you'll feel empowered to embrace your struggles, rewrite your inner dialogue, and step into your most authentic, resilient self. So whether you're on a walk, driving, or just taking a moment for yourself, I'm honored to be a part of your day. So let's dive in. I thought I'd start by sharing a bit of my story so you can get to know me better and understand why this podcast is so close to my heart. I've always been passionate about mental health and wellness and the power of a positive mindset. Those passions have carried me through different roles. I've worked in education, developmental services, and administration. And no matter what the job title was, I always found myself drawn to helping people. I loved listening to their stories, supporting them through challenges, and encouraging them to see their own strength even when they couldn't see it themselves. And maybe that's because I know firsthand how hard it can be to hold on to hope when life feels heavy. I want to be honest with you. I didn't get into this mindset overnight. Life has thrown me more than a few curveballs, and for a long time I struggled to see the purpose in the pain. I went through a failed marriage after 10 years, which was heartbreaking in so many ways. It felt like the life I had envisioned was crumbling, and I wasn't sure how to pick up the pieces. Then, in 2019, I lost my mom to metastatic breast cancer. Watching someone you love fight so hard only to lose them is a grief I can't fully put into words. That loss left a hole in my heart, and for a while, I felt completely untethered. Not long after, I faced health concerns with my oldest child. And just when I thought I might catch my breath, I lost my job at the worst possible time. It felt like life kept knocking me down. And I won't lie, there were days that I wanted to stay down. Days when the weight of it all felt too much. But, looking back, I now see that those struggles were shaping me. They were tearing down the parts of me that needed to be rebuilt. Because I truly believe that growth happens in the uncomfortable, the messy moments. It's in the darkness that we learn to create our own light. And I know that I'm not alone in this. We all go through moments where we feel lost, broken, or unsure of what's next. But I want to remind you, you are so much stronger than you think. And no matter what you're going through, there is always a way forward. One of the things that helped me the most through all of this was affirmations. I know some people roll their eyes at the idea of speaking positive words to yourself, especially when life is falling apart. But affirmations aren't about pretending everything's perfect. They're about reminding yourself that you have the strength to keep going even when it isn't. I started small, simple phrases like, I am resilient, I'm worthy of happiness, I trust that better days are coming. And at first, I didn't believe the words. But the more I repeated them, the more they started to take root. They became little anchors that I could hold on to, pulling me back to myself when the storm got too rough. That practice of intentional positivity changed my life. And that's why I wrote Spiritual Gangster Daily Affirmations and created the prompted daily journal to go along with it. Because I wanted to share that tool with others. And it's a huge part of what this podcast is about too. So, what can you expect from the Spiritual Gangster Podcast moving forward? We're going to talk about affirmations, of course, how to create them, how to make them a part of your routine, and how they can transform your mindset. But we're also going to get real about life's struggles. We'll talk about grief, resilience, finding purpose in pain, and learning to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There will be solo episodes where I share my thoughts and experiences, as well as interviews with inspiring guests who have walked through their own challenges and come out on the other side. My hope is that each episode leaves you feeling a little more seen, a little more hopeful, and a little more ready to embrace your own strength. Before we wrap up, I just want to thank you for being here. If you're listening to this, it means that you're open to growth and willing to explore your inner world, and that's something to celebrate. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leave a review if you feel called to. It helps the podcast reach more people who might need this kind of support. And if you want to connect, come find me on Instagram or Facebook. Let me know what topics you'd love to dive into, or just say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay strong, stay soulful, and keep living like a spiritual gangster.